Sorry for the interruptions because
Ladies and gentlemen, can you see the slide?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
Yes, sir, it's visible.
yeah.
Okay, I don't know, Verma, I don't know what is the problem. Somebody, individual person?
no, I
Hello.
think now your PPT was because your host changed, so your PPT will not work. So you
No,
will have to close that.
Yeah, it's working, sir.
it is working. Verma?
You just operate. I will see.
तुम्हें नहीं दिख रही होगी, औरों को दिख रही है?
नहीं, हमें भी दिख रही है आपका ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द रोल.
फॉरवर्ड करिए सर, एक बार प्लीज फॉरवर्ड इट वंस.
स्लाइड चेंज करके देखिए आप.
या
हाँ हो गया.
या इट इज हैपनिंग.
वर्मा,
प्लीज कंटिन्यू. आई थिंक सॉरी.
ओके ओके. तुम्हारा वो कुछ वाईफाई का कुछ उसकी वजह से हुआ होगा डिसरप्शन. चलो ओके, चलो भाई जरा एक्सपेडाइट करते हैं. हाँ भाई, टूल टू इम्प्रूव स्किल्स ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स इन द एरिया ऑफ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग एंड decision making. Useful practice in self expression, interpersonal communication enhances effectiveness. We all understand there is nothing very I mean not rocket science in this. When to use role play? In situation wherein participants can enact their respective roles. ये क्या है? उसके आगे पढ़ो भाई.
Where it's the second part?
When to use the role play?
Okay. In situations wherein participants can enact their respective roles as close to the real life situation as possible.
Okay.
Most successful when preceded by prior input on issues that occur to the role play through a lecture. So basically this means that we have a discussion beforehand and then we break out into role plays.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we come back.
And the people who are enacting the roles, they must know the role, what they are supposed to do. Suppose I am playing a role, again I'll go to that example where I am a laborer and the other chap is giving very convincing that I should keep denying no. I should say हमें छुट्टी चाहिए ही चाहिए. I should not get convinced. The reason is you want to draw lessons. Suppose as a supervisor, somebody says, okay, you go, then the entire role has not been played, no lessons have been brought out. The fact of the matter, the individual has to continue playing the role of spoiled brat, that laborer. I hope I'm able to explain. He is to continue to show resistance and supervisor has to put in constant effort to convince him. Then only certain type of lessons will come out. If the both are not able to play the role correctly, if they have not been briefed adequately, then hardly any lessons will come out how to handle a situation. And it is more for the observers who are watching. So it is very important that they are briefed adequately what role to play and how to play it. I hope I have been able to clarify a little bit. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next point.
Helps participants
put their skills into practice and can transform their behavior. Self-explanatory, we have already talked of it. These are the essential elements, ladies and gentlemen. Quickly read through so that we can proceed because I have to cover a good canvas by 5:30 and I have no intention of troubling you beyond that. Arpita.
So, essential elements of role play.
Okay.
Yeah. Essential elements of role play. Participants should get first-hand experience of situations that they face on job or real life.
Okay.
Should promote interaction among different players within the framework of established objectives.
Okay.
Framework should not.
Nothing much. They are tabulated form, whatever is expected out of. Okay. Framework should not be too rigid. Should allow participants to evolve and experiment with their roles. But it is not hard and fast, straight jacket thing that तुम ऐसे नहीं कर सकते. It's personality driven. So obviously it has to have a lot of flexibility in functioning. Okay. Participants should be fully aware of the framework and do's and don'ts that I've already mentioned a little while earlier. facilitators must monitor the role play to avoid deviation from the intended objective. What happens is, I've seen it personally, what happens is when you make a role play, it's a drama being enacted. When the role is being played perpetually, the individuals get so involved that and then they start enjoying it, then they deviate from the focus area what you are required to conduct. So that's why it is to be monitored by trainer. Participants should be briefed on the discussion that is to follow the exercise to get more clarity. Now, participants should be briefed on the discussion that is to follow. If you don't brief them, including the people who are supposed to be observers, everyone should be briefed adequately. Otherwise, what will happen? They will, for fun and frolic, they'll keep observing without making notes, without paying attention, and thereafter, when no fruitful discussion can take place for corrective measures to be taken, fault finding, corrective measures, and various kind of things. Let me tell you, role play makes a major difference. I'm telling you, we are talking it as a normal training practice, but I'm telling you, I have seen personalities change. I have seen improvement in personalities. They really improve in terms of their sensitivities and social conduct by virtue of going through role play exercises. In the army, we only train leadership of different nature, though there are skills of people improve exponentially, which they have to apply later. Army is one, you can't go into battlefield unprepared. So every level, that's why our army has got a very constant training capsule to the extent that even for becoming a major general, you have to go to National Defense College at Delhi, which is near Parliament, which is near India Gate. So constant training it takes place. That's why in the corporate world also, the training starts from the lower level, and with every promotion, you go through a certain refresher or capsules and things like in big companies and Tata's ho gaye, and Reliance ho gaya, and Cipla, and all these people, they put their leadership through training capsules a lot. Okay, sorry, gentlemen, I interjected in between because I thought time factor is more important. No personal prejudices and biases should come in way during the role play. Now, it should not be that many a times role play may animosity, as you don't like somebody's face, you put him in a trouble, some kind of a role, and thereafter he's getting embarrassed on any of this, even if he does a mistake. So I'm sure to top it all, even what people who are playing the roles, they should not conduct in a manner where their interpersonal relationship with their colleagues starts reflecting in the proper conduct of the role play. That should not happen. Appoints separate observers for process and content of the play. That's all right, self-explanatory. We have already discussed. Observers should be assigned players they are observing, which again we have already talked of, that specific observers are for specific gentleman who is playing the role. Use observation sheets. Okay. There are I have only simple form where written simple role play, which can be between two people, or it can be mono act. It can be multiple role plays where multiple people are involved. Reverse role play where people interchange their position and thereafter see from the other's point of view. And what is a spontaneous role play? Somebody to explain. Am I with you, ladies and gentlemen? How are you? Somebody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is a spontaneous role play? Baki to
spontaneous
self-explanatory. Anyone has any doubt in these three? Simple role play, multiple reversal.
No,
There's nothing much in it. Some spontaneous role play.
Spontaneous role play means
Why I'm highlighting? Suppose in the written exam they ask you short notes. Spontaneous. What do you understand? What is spontaneous role play?
it's
Something short.
impromptu. It's impromptu, sir.
Sorry.
It's impromptu. You do not get
Impromptu.
time to
Yes.
prepare.
Yes.
yeah, definitely. Immediately you can say you have to play
Enact
this
a role.
position. Yeah.
We in the army call it wargaming. What we do is 4 people discussing. Suppose you get an exercise. We used to get exercises where large core has to move and this, that. even in tea break, suddenly we both 2-3 people get together and they start discussing. It is no more a discussion. All of us start playing we say let's war game it. The term which we use in the army, let's war game it. Basically, you are playing a game where everyone is playing a particular role and the situations are created and then the multiple options are taken out of it. This is the way we practice our cognitive skills in planning. Okay, just a example I thought. So the slide is quite simple. There's a planner,
Yes, sir.
then you conduct, then you evaluate, and then you share the feedback with the people who have played the role as well as the observers. I'm sorry, I'm rushing because there's no point in these simple things wasting too much of time. Okay. Just go through, ladies and gentlemen, but somebody to read. If you read, then only one knows what is happening. Anand Chaudhary, if he's not sleeping, he'll switch on his mic and talk. Okay.
Definitely, sir.
I'm so happy, Anand.
Right. So this one says plan the role play, and guidelines are here. First is identify the problem, then assign roles to participants. Next one is introduction, setting the scene, and the next one is setting out operating rules and norms. Then it is role briefs, and then observer sheet, and the last one is making physical arrangements.
Okay. Anything anyone wants to add to this? Nothing to add? Okay. Chalo. Somebody else. Anand has done his job. He's wide awake. Pratiksha Patil will get up now. I see. Pratiksha, you are not. You are showing mute mic. So हमने कहा तुमको जगह नहीं. Kalpana Sharma. Shalu. Chandralekha. Arnav Sengupta. Arnav is always wide awake.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chandralekha. Good.
Conduct the role play. Setting the climate for the role play.
Yeah, okay.
Briefing the role players. Setting the guidelines
What
for
do
the
you, what do you understand by setting the climate for role play?
We have to arrange the physical arrangements for the conducting the role play.
Okay. चलो अच्छा आगे चलो. Time कम है. हाँ, please continue. Sorry.
Briefing the role play. Briefing the role players. Setting the guidelines for the role play. State the purpose and objective of the role play. Structure of the role play. Keep the participants engaged. Support the participants when they get stuck. Modulate the intensity.
Okay. Feedback. This is the last point. चलो भाई जल्दी पढ़ो डालो यार. कोई आदमी. शालू. चंद्रकांता.
Can I read?
हाँ चलो पढ़ो.
Yep. Have structured discussion about the role play. Have a framework for sharing feedback. Interview the players post the exercise to understand their actions, strategy, and interactions. Share constructive feedback. Do not be critical.
This is important. Never be critical. You see, if you become critical to other person, even if the negative aspect has to be highlighted, it should be highlighted in a manner that possibly he could have done this better had he tried this.
Yeah.
That is a positive way of giving it. Don't give a negative stroke. There are too many people negative in the world. Okay. आगे चलो.
Prepare participants for an objective analysis of their behavior. Refer to the observers' sheets. Avoid unpleasant situations. Discussion key learning points. Conclude the role play.
Discuss key learning point. Conclude the role play. Okay. Thank God we have finished. We'll come to games now. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll rush a little. Games-based learning. It is very simple. is a type of games that play and has defined learning outcomes. Generally, games-based learning is designed to balance subject matter with the gameplay and the ability of a player to retain and apply the subject matter to the real world. Now, I will not ask any questions. I'll only put across this, that what I was talking of war games, what we conduct. You see, you must have seen newspapers may it is written the army has gone for an exercise.
Yes,
It
sir.
is a game being played. Now, Abhi, you must have heard about quad exercise being conducted between India, Japan, Australia, and United States in the Pacific Ocean and in the Malacca Straits in the Bay of beyond Bay of Bengal near Andamans. Malabar exercise is being conducted by India in that. Basically, these exercise, what happens is there are stages. You simulate certain things, and that is what the game is all about. Many a movies they show, na red land and blue land, they fight war movies, and many a time it is somebody works as an enemy and somebody works as a friendly forces. So for enemy is always in red color, red land, and friendly forces in blue color, and they conduct a game. They conduct a realistic type of planning based on the parameters which have been taught to them during lectures and various in-house training. Initial is by lectures, subsequently it is by audio visuals. Then is there, after that they are shown demonstration, lecture demonstration, where they see how it is conducted, and certain demonstrations are conducted on sand model जैसे जन्माष्टमी होती है, and thereafter they are put through gaming. They war game it. War game is something like in theoretical terms, and exercise is something like in practical terms. Now you can't have live bullets flying, so you create a stress level of this similar nature by simulating certain things, and then you put them through real life situations. Case in point, I'll give you. Again, I'll give you about that Abhinandan who had been shot down by Pakistan, the aircraft. The gentleman must have gone through various basics, thereafter upgradation in terms of aircraft, thereafter various maneuvers which he must have learned, and thereafter he must have done in peacetime various exercises in not alone aircraft, but his friends. That is his war gaming. War gaming they do on in the situation room, and subsequently when you go in air and then pursuit and all that, one chap works as an enemy, other chap works as a in pursuit, and they do various maneuvers. That is what is exercise, and after that only a man is put through a real life situation, and that is why he could do so well. He could shoot down a more superior aircraft. Okay, I've come digressed again. Okay. Key features of game-based learning. Earlier, we were playing, talking of role play. Now we're talking of games. Define learning outcomes, meaningful learning experience. Key features. Provide context and real-world value of skill and content. Encourage deeper learning and integration of the knowledge base. Till the time you don't apply this knowledge, your skills will not improve. So it encourages deeper learning, integration of knowledge base and skill sets. Now you may have a knowledge how to drive a car theoretically because you have been sitting in co-driver's seat and watching how the driver is driving. But subsequently you are put through a simulator where you do it yourself in a static position so that accidents don't take place. And thereafter, to polish your skills, you are put through the exercise of driving a car after the simulator, and thereafter you are put on the road. Initially you may be put only in your colony at drive. That fellow will take you in his Maruti to make you drive all over, and when he finds that your skills levels have improved adequately, then he may bring you on a road, and gradually he may take you on a crowded road. So you're basically in the stages they are improving your skills. So games really improve this, especially cognitive skills, the knowledge initially you have, uska application of knowledge on ground, that improves a lot. And that is why the games are very important in the corporate world, which otherwise I used to think it is meaningless, but I realize it really improves the skills of the people. Seamless accountability, feedback, intrinsic and extending motivators, self-explanatory, combine audio, graphics and movement into interactive and immersive environment. Ye last point somebody can highlight? Kalpana, can you throw some light on it? Sorry, I could see your name on the screen, so I thought of asking you. Okay, Arnav. Arnav is one man, his name because it starts with A is figure, always figures on top. He can't hide himself, poacher.
May I read, sir?
Yeah.
Page the set.
Yeah.
Combine audio, graphics, and movement into an interactive and immersive environment.
What exactly does it imply?
It means, sir, audio, graphics, and movement into interactive.
You see, these days because of the technology upgradation.
Animated illustrations?
Sir, please.
Animated illustrations, kind of, or animated. Nowadays a lot of such animated things are in.
Not only that, normal video games, that itself is
video we can.
Basically, the technology has really made life much simpler, and various situations can be simulated, which can be because of graphics and movements and interactive immersive environment created. Have you seen at Bombay Airport? They used to have a Airbus ka simulator in the I don't know who all have seen it. They used to charge 500 or 1,000, I don't remember how much, and then they make you a pilot of an Airbus, and they make you sit. It was available in the wherever near the coffee shop and where the duty-free shops are there, and you could go and play a game. You could fly a Airbus aircraft. It was a simulator, so that is also part of the similar exercise. Okay. What is important? Characteristics of a good game environment are as flashed on the slide. I will not read them, just quickly go through them. It should be appropriate to the age. It can't be very basic. Suppose I am a certain level leader in a particular company. My game created for me should not be so simplistic that it is for a grade lower than me in terms of appointment. It should be more challenging. Basically, maybe a higher level game is possible, but lower game should not be given to. Yeah, have you seen? All of you must have played Mario. Mario jo hota tha na?
Yes, sir.
The Mario,
Yes,
the skill level used to keep going up, and the difficulty level also used to keep going up. It is exactly the same ladder which in the corporate world which everyone goes through. When I got commissioned, I used to walk, and I used to see CEO का बड़ी मौज है यार, वो अपना उसके लिए कार आती है, AC कार, उसमें बैठता है, चला जाता है, वापस आता है, driver is driving, he is having a ball. When I became a CEO, I realized that the type of pressures when you go through as a CEO is very different than what you, like we talk of, you must be aware that these various, they are very heavily paid, all these CEOs of companies, because they have tremendous responsibilities on them, and they have constantly on a lot of pressure, and that is why heart attack level is much higher in these people because of pressure. You will never find a politician getting a heart attack very early. He lasts very long. I will not name, but some of them even in 90s. Even Biden, who is about to become president of USA, is 78-year-old man.
Yes, sir.
Don't tell any politician, they'll beat me up. Okay.
Actually, they don't take stress. Actually,
they are very stressful life. They have stressless life. Accountability nahi hai na.
Stressless life.
Stress.
Yeah, accountability. Yes.
CEO is accountable. So he is under stress.
Yeah.
All hierarchical systems have accountability. In this case, the Modi has accountability, and that is why you must have seen last 5 years, he's lost so much of hair and thinning. And why go far? Rajiv Gandhi, overnight, as a prime minister, he aged quite a lot and became totally bald. You see,
Yes,
it all comes with the accountability and responsibilities. Quickly go through this, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, then we'll go further. Just quickly read through, and I don't want you to read. Mentally, you can read it. Visuals, greater collaboration. Just read it, you will understand.
The visual nature of games not only made the learning activity more fun and engaging, but it was a much easier way for them to learn as compared to other instructional method they frequently encountered.
Okay.
And second one is a greater collaboration. Students enjoy working together and working as a team. Many learners also enjoy helping other classmates when they experience difficulties, and the support and encouragement they received from the team members during gameplay. Concentration
Concentration
and
and
focus.
Basically, for the ability of games to sharpen the focus and concentration, because when you start enjoying and you want to win,
Yes.
perpetually your focus is more your cognitive effort involved in winning. You have put in a lot of effort, and willy-nilly you are actually learning. So that is why
Right.
it improves your concentration also quite a lot. अरे अगर a few people remember of childhood, we used to have what एक होता था ना trade करके, उसमें note होते थे कागज के, और
Yeah.
you used
Yeah.
to buy
Business games.
Monopoly and business.
Monopoly. Basically, it used to improve. You people may not realize, but it must have really improved your various skills of transaction. In terms of math, it was very well formulated in terms of calculation, in terms of your arithmetic, normal arithmetic, in terms of what is profit loss, how I can make more money, what should I sell immediately so that I don't get losses. So it used to basically, it is training the people inadvertently, so improving your skills. And at the same time, when you're doing calculation, you are actually improving your mathematical skills also. Okay, teamwork.
Right.
Teamwork, when there is this is one of the most commonly cited positive attributes to game-based learning. The opportunity to work together, to share responsibility, to learn one another when stuck, and so on. Matlab basically, suppose there is a partner in a game, obviously he'll assist you. He will try to take you out from the jam situation. Again, I'll give an example in short. Service selection boards, they have individual responsibility works given, and they also give team works. And they are fun and frolic games, and all you will find this. No, it is not important you win or lose. It is important that when you're part of the team and you are participative or things like what, that's what they watch while selecting you. Okay. Development options, use entertainment games. आजकल तो बहुत हैं available. Modify entertainment games as per the suitability of the job for which you are training people. Use virtual world. We have already talked of it. Use educational games and create games on your own. You can based on a particular requirement. You can create games like a lady was talking on nurses and the doctors training. You may create some games for them, and you can make them go through that so that they improve their skills. Students create games. Okay, so game-based learning assessment. Maybe I'll skip this. Using games in classroom. Popularity of games attractive to learners. Fun factor. The same thing is quite repetitive, so you can quickly go through it, and your time starts now. Okay. Use games in classroom, popularity of games attractive to learners, fun factor, capture attention, inspires and motivates learning, opportunity for real experience, authentic, and basically because they are games, they give real type of experience, so they are more enjoyable. authentic learning exercise. In virtual world, reset if needed. Now in virtual world, what happens, degree of difficulty can be handled by the trainer. So if he finds that there is the skill level of a particular trainee is inadequate or lower, he can reduce the training degree of difficulty and gradually improve it so that his gradual skill, or some more skilled chap comes, so he can increase the degree of difficulty. All these simulating games are designed that way, I suppose. Learner can develop and test theories not feasible in real life. Basically, that is why the game should be quite akin to the real life situations. It should not be out of the blue, outlandish like these days. A lot of Rambo type of movies come, which are unrealistic. They are entertainers and they are not educators. Problem-based learning, deeper understanding. Next, simulators. We've already talked of this, so nothing much to talk of it, except let's come to the somebody to read it now, since we have come to the third subject.
Simulation techniques. Simulation techniques can be used to assist management decision making where analytical methods are either not available or inappropriate. So, typical business problems where simulations could be used to aid management decision making are inventory control, queuing problems, production planning.
Let's come to the first bullet quickly. How about Arpita?
Yeah, so it could be, where these we could use simulation techniques for things where you can't really do it in real life situations. For example, driving on the road. If you're learning driving, you can't go on the first day in the road and start to drive. So you have to go through various simulators. Same goes with flight crew, like people who fly in airplanes. They go through simulators every 6 months, 8 months to learn about the new changes that have come.
Let's come to the second point, second bullet.
Basically, simulation techniques are used where more risk are involved. Actually.
Basically, you can simulate any situation. She is given example of flying and driving. It can be any situation. Suppose case in point is a typical business problem where simulation is used to aid management decision making. Now inventory control. Now there may be, you simulate a shortage of inventory. Then you see you have a bulk order, suppose. Only there is a flow chart where they maintain a certain type of inventory in the stores so that your production chain does not stall, does not stop anywhere. And hoarding or storing bulk, which will take long gestation time and may deteriorate while being kept in the store, should be avoided. At the same time, it should not come to the level where the inventory controller has kept the inventory so low that production line may, suppose one chap is asking for a particular item to be put and that is not available in the inventory. Then he'll say, "मैं मंगाऊंगा 3 दिन लगेंगे आने में." तो उसमें क्या होगा कि the production line people will be 3 days labor is being wasted without being utilized in terms of production. So ideal inventory control, these situations are created artificially, basically to train the people in production line or also train the leadership which has to make decisions at the right time so that the flow of the entire chain is maintained. Have you understood? I hope I'll be able to. Queuing problem is similar thing. Production planning is similar thing, that you don't have inventory which is wasted out. I'll give you a production planning this thing. The government brought from 1st January they brought. When did they bring this Bharat 6 in terms of fuel in the vehicles? I don't know when was it introduced. I think 1st January or no, 1st April. 1st April it was. 1st April if I'm not wrong. Yes. Now you see the car manufacturers, they had sold off their inventory by January. and they were still producing from, but in terms of production line, wahan pe in their plants, they stopped producing Bharat 4 vehicles because 5, of course, government has jumped and has gone to Bharat 6 pollution emission policy. So the companies stopped producing the Bharat 4 type of vehicles sometime in December itself, because they gave a 3 months of gestation period for the inventory which was already available to be sold. Because the government had put in a ruling that come what may, any vehicle which is after 1st April will not be registered. Bharat 4 vehicle will not be registered by any RTO office. Some of the poor planning people, I can tell, I don't want to name the company, but a couple of companies have got dead inventory. They appealed to the government that we have dead stock, please let us sell. The government refused. These vehicles had to be reverted back to the company for retro modification so that they comply with the Bharat 6 requirement. So that is poor planning. Now these type of artificial thing could have been simulated. Now case in point is this what you call corona. The government is already simulating the supply chain of the vaccine all over India. How will it go? How the cold chain will work for the vaccine to reach the remotest areas. So these are the simulations which are conducted right in time, so that when it comes to the real situation, you do not cut a sorry figure, and you don't. The whole system collapse may not take place. I hope you people are with me or understanding what I'm saying. Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Because this vaccine is being produced in Pune, and I believe it requires cold chain process. Cold chain ke liye you need refrigerated trucks, you need refrigerated methodology of transportation from one place to the other, and then you want to quickly spread all over India. So those simulations are being conducted now, so that by the time it comes out, they are expecting it to come out by December or maybe first week of January. That's what I've heard. So that is also a good simulation. Okay, let's go to next. Simulation is imitation of some real. Sorry, gentlemen, can you read the line, because your names start covering half my slide on one side. Can you read this slide, please? First bullet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Simulation is a imitation of some real thing or a process.
Okay.
The act of simulating something generally involves a representation of certain key characteristics or behaviors of a selected physical and abstract systems.
Okay.
Simulation involves the use of models to represent real life situations.
Now, whatever I mentioned about the vaccine, does it correlate with it? Whatever I mentioned about the car production line, does it correlate with this?
Yes, yes, absolutely, sir.
It does directly correlate, in my opinion. Okay. Chalo, pao, fir aage bhi pao.
The simulation model.
Okay.
Yeah, continue.
Good.
The simulation model is a mathematical model that calculates the impact of uncertain inputs and decisions we make on outcomes that we care about, such as profit and loss, investment returns, etc. A simulation model will include model inputs that are uncertain numbers, uncertain variables, intermediate calculations as required, model and outputs that depend on the inputs. These are uncertain functions.
Okay. So, advantages of simulation. It is useful for sensitivity analysis of complex systems. You see, again, I'll come to that Airbus simulator I saw at Bombay Airport. You see, earlier, the same computer on which I'm talking to you, I had a simulator here for the aircraft. When I was abroad in UN, one used to play with that. Now, you could select which type of aircraft, and every aircraft will have a different software for showing the sensitivity. You put a fighter aircraft, its sensitivity will be different. If you have a cargo aircraft or whatever, what a normal Airbus or 747, it will have different. So it simulates various type of situations and where you have to react and handle it. I was doing it for fun's sake. Basically, the equipment which you are using, how sensitive it is to your reflexes, that is what it simulates. आपने देखा होगा in terms of vehicles, when you drive one vehicle and you drive suddenly you drive an ambassador car and you drove Maruti thereafter, you found Maruti very sensitive. Slightest of accelerator you used to jump. Then your skills go, your cognitive methodology analysis takes place, and then you decide I should be gradual with the accelerator in this. In case of ambassador, you could ride on the accelerator, it will still like an elephant take time to take off. So this is what the simulator, basically the equipment, about that you learn. Uski sensitivity is how it reacts, you basically learn. It is suitable to analyze large and complex real life problems. Now, this is, we are talking in terms of mechanical things like machines and trucks and vehicles and things like. But the same thing you please put across to the leadership in corporate world, where complex, as you grow in service, then these complex problems come. I'm sorry, again, I'll go to the army at this thing. I have commanded up to 6,000 men. And when you command 6,000 men together, you see it has various problems. There are 6,000 people, out of that, at least 4,000 have their families, their children. You need a school, you need roads, you need accommodation for them. You need a supply chain to ensure that they get rations. Their wives are from villages, so you need to train them to ensure that how the civic sense they should improve, learn, so that they know how to handle the urban way of living, so that the toilets don't get clogged and staircases and lights are not broken. And I'm just giving you a sample. Then ration supply chain system, then security aspects. I'm just giving you one example that commanding 6,000 people is not an easy job. And there are people who command larger bodies. When Div Commander commands about 30,000 people. So obviously the dynamics and the requirements change. Similarly, in the corporate world, the CEO, he may be sitting in Bombay or Delhi or wherever, but he's got regional managers, he's got a lot of staff under them, and they all have different dynamics, different requirements. Then there are customers who may be in remote areas, how to meet their requirements. So as you grow in service, such situations, the simulation is the ideal way of creating a crisis and then taking out what you call lessons out of it, and then inculcating in your leadership requirements. I hope it is making sense. Wherever you people have a little problem, do let me know. It is remaining to. It is the remaining tool when all other techniques become intractable or fail. Basically, it is real-time situation. Basically, you can't have the real situation and cause losses to your company. In case of army parlance, you can't go into battle without going through the simulators and then getting your men killed. So you have to go through the various. Do you think, again, I'll come to this China thing in Ladakh. Do you think that we have gone and occupied certain heights which have reversed the entire situation? It has happened overnight. The people were trained and they are, I don't want to go into classified part of it. There are places, there are people who are trained and they are kept ready most of the time. And they suppose the certain time the troop army took was basically to simulate those heights somewhere and go to put our troops into some kind of a training and thereafter launch them in the real-time situation. In lesser time frame we could occupy and then got into dominating position from where we can now dictate terms. So everything is first rehearsed is simulated, and thereafter only it is applied. Okay. It can be used as a pre-service test to try out new policies and decision rule for it. It is self-explanatory. Beforehand, you simulate. Suppose you are introducing a particular product, and then you simulate the some whether how well will the audience. That's why you must have again newspapers में पढ़ते हैं कि a car is going through trials. So when before any vehicle is introduced, a prototype is put through various trials, road trials and things like, to see the shortcomings of a vehicle, and thereafter only introduce it in the market, so that all the shortcomings which you have visualized in going through the trials, you are able to repair, improve them, and then only launch it as a product. Okay. Do respond whenever there is a need. यार ये तो हमने खत्म ही कर दिया, चलो अच्छा डिसएडवांटेज जल्दी पढ़ो यार, ऐसे ही पढ़ लो, हम कुछ नहीं बोलेंगे, तुम भी कुछ नहीं बोलो, स्लाइड देख लो खाली. Okay, next type of simulation भूल जाओ, ये सब हम projective technique. Okay, we'll come to this. Basically, a psychological test which in words and images or situations are presented to a person, or responses and are analyzed. हम बेसिकली क्या है कि हर आदमी का एक साइकोमेट्रिक टेस्ट होता है. इन दैट टेस्ट यू कम टू नो हिज अनकॉन्शियस एक्सप्रेशंस और एलिमेंट्स ऑफ द पर्सनालिटी व्हिच गेट रिवील्ड. नाउ दिस projective tests, they are personality tests, and they were developed long time back, and they are still in use and in various selection boards. In case of Army, SSB, they show images and they expect you to react to those images. Hello.
Yes, yes.
They go through these images and write a story in 2 minutes. And those stories are analyzed. Based on that, we work out what is your psychology, how you think. Case in point, suppose there is a gentleman going on a cycle and a lady on a footpath. I remember this is the test I gave, so I remember that. Now, somebody will see it negatively, that chap is indulging in eve teasing or something. And somebody will see that this lady is walking and I'm going to cycle. If she needs a lift because she's carrying something on the head, should I help her or not? So that's a positive way of thinking. These are the aspects which get highlighted, and based on that, they decide whether to select somebody or not to select somebody in the army. So this is one of the tests only. Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm rushing because I find that हम बोलते ज़्यादा हैं, इस चक्कर में गड़बड़ हो जाता है. These are the techniques. One is pictorial projective technique. Other is verbal projective technique, and there is expressive methods. I'll put across in a different line. Pictorial projective technique is as given. Rorschach ink blot test. Basically, he's a Swiss scientist who had formulated this in 1920. These are the images. If you see certain images which are visible, they are called ink blot test. Basically, a piece of paper page, you put a ink, you fold the page and open it, and there image works out. And that image, then it is shown, and they want you to interpret. What do you interpret out of it? And he had made 10 such images, and they used to be given, and based on that, you have to describe them or how you see them. And then your personality analysis used to be called. Then there are connected to this is thematic appreciation test. Pictorial mein there are themes given. That one I told you about cycle and a man going on cycle and a lady nearby going on footpath, or there can be various images. They are all available. And these themes are projected, and then you are supposed to make a story out of it, and then they see your psychology out of it. Now, verbal.
This is
hello,
sir. Thematic apperception test. I think it is not appreciation.
Thematic appreciation test.
Apperception.
Perception.
Apperception test.
What you appreciate out of it, basically.
Yes. Yeah,
it is called TAT test.
TAT, right, sir.
Okay. Then projective techniques as again verbal projective technique. As what exactly does it imply? Chalo, कौन बोल रहा था? अर्नव, कौन बोल रहा था? चलो बोलो भाई. Verbal. Hello.
Verbal projective technique.
So may I?
Yeah, please.
So good evening. So verbal, this includes those words are being given to the people,
Yes.
and then they're being asked to, whatever the first thought which they get related to that, they have to write it down.
Okay.
So say for an example, if they say rose or when they say lethal or something like that, so whatever thought that you will get, on the basis of that, they calculate what sort of a association.
How they react and what do they come out with, and by that you do the sentence completion technique is also the same thing.
Same thing.
Basically, various companies they advertise these days ki
yes sir.
जब अभी Times of India का आया था, I like Times of India because उसके आगे you have to write. So basically they try to analyze thereafter how important it is for in your life. Projective techniques, gentlemen, I'm trying to skip this. This is all waste of time. Yeah, just to give you an idea what these type of images are shown, and thereafter you are supposed to write a story. You can make out. You can see the image, please. Is the image visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It is just to give you an example. We will not rush. World Cafe, I'm sorry, there is no time left, but we have already, it is already 5:30. So if you want, I can continue on this. Otherwise, we will do it next time.
Yes, sir, we are fine with it. You may continue.
Okay. Now, World Cafe at a glance. 3 progressive rounds of what is World Cafe? Somebody to please talk of it. Okay. Basically, it is a methodology of training. You create a situation, something like a cafe, informal way of interacting. You must have seen when you go to very big companies, or you go to insurance company, or you go to some kind of investor bank, or you go to buy a car, they always have one glass cubicle, they put a round table and they have few chairs, because when you enter a lobby, it is a little intimidating. So they create a place where it is a cozy place for you to sit down. And thereafter they'll offer you coffee, and that is the cafe environment being created to put you at ease and have an inhibition-free interaction, and where a lot of ideas on what exactly you are looking for, they can talk of. It is quite akin to the World Cafe concept. The basic, it is creative cafe. It can be for, there are various types, leadership cafe, strategic cafe, community cafe. I will not go into those. You can read about it. It is given, it's available on internet also. Basically, informal way of teaching. You make groups, people of 4-5 people, small groups, and they sit on a round table and they discuss. You give them a question, then they discuss that. One gentleman in that is made into a host. Anyone who can explain cafe will quickly, if in the student body, can somebody throw some light on what is World Cafe? Okay, and अभी हमें टाइम कम है, इसलिए हम जरा रश कर रहे हैं, but I will try and cover it next time when we will meet. You throw a question to 4-5 group of people. Okay, I'll skip this and go to next. ये सब बाद में करेंगे, इस पे आ जाते हैं. World Cafe discussion method. You create certain places, you put a host there, he constantly remains there, and the group of people go and discuss a topic given to them, and they discuss threadbare. Now, if you see, there are people, 4 or 5 people who are participating, they all come out with new ideas. And those ideas are discussed, and the table where paper, pencil is kept, and where people, ideas are jotted down, because everyone's idea is coming from a different experience. After they have conducted themselves for 10-15 minutes on one table, then they are made to shift to different tables. Like, it is not as a body of, suppose these blue ones which are down below in the screen, all 5 of will not go, 6 of them will not go to the same table. They'll go to different tables. And then again, that new discussion takes place where, and there's certain things which he has learned from a different table is then again inculcated there. So basically, it is the knowledge, multiple people's knowledge bank, which is shared, and rich inputs coming from all of them then comes, and which are compiled, consolidated, and discussed, and the best solution is formulated out of it. This is what the crux is. I have rushed, we can talk of it later. You see, can you see this image which is given, which gives a little idea of what exactly I'm talking of? Can you see, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, yes, sir.
So basically, this is what the World Cafe discussion method is, and it is to take a combined decision, and which is with the knowledge bank of multiple people with multiple exposures, and then come out with the best solution. There are certain guidelines. There are 7 design principles for it. The context should be correct. Set the context correctly. Create a hospitable space. It should be very relaxed where everyone should be able to do. Human psyche is to speak in a smaller body. People don't like to speak in large bodies. So that is why it is called a cafe, informal way of talking. When you enter a large lobby or large in a place, you always feel awkward, intimidated by the ambience. When you go to a small glass cubicle and 4 people you are discussing, you will find that you will open up and you'll talk much more comfortably. That is the concept. Okay. Explore questions that matter. Various questions which have been worked out. We'll go into these details. We'll spend 5-10 minutes next time when we meet. And encourage everyone to contribute. So first point, set the context, create hospitable space, explore questions that matter most, and encourage everyone to contribute fruitfully. People who don't speak, they should be encouraged to talk. Otherwise, they become passengers watching others only. Connect diverse perspectives. Now, as these tables where people move from one table to another, then you have to connect those things with each other. Us table we were discussing this. So it is transferred to other tables. So this is the way the ideas get transferred, and they get connected. And listen together for patterns and insights of each one of them. Share the collective discoveries, and thereafter compile them, and then thereafter there should be a feedback process where you should go through a discussion. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, thoda rushed kara maine because I didn't want you people cursing me, so that is why we have finished it. And some things which I have skipped, we will go through if required and the next time when we meet. Is there any question or anything you have? Do let me know. A ghost is passing by, it seems, because no one has raised hands or said hello. At least somebody smiled.
Yes. I mean, in case of any queries, I mean, we would go through all these 3 things, especially the last one,
Yeah.
as we last 2, as we have rushed through it. And so, what I mean,
You were talking of World Cafe and
the projection, something
projective
like projective
testing.
tests. Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, quite a lot of things are available on the internet also. In
Yes,
fact,
yes.
you must go through. Otherwise, I'm sure it is given in the books also. So go through it. We can talk of it later. Somehow, you see, the same things are covered in much lesser time when you have an interaction in terms of sitting in a hall. But आधा तो time इसमें glitches में चला जाता है. I'm so happy without glitches. It has gone with not much of hanging. Today I've changed the place. I'm on a desktop now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was such a pleasure. And definitely pleasure is mine, provided we meet sometime. And I'm sure I'll find an opportunity to meet in case what is that cold chain of Modi ji and vaccine goes all over, so we can meet also.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
Anything, anyone? Please.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless all
Thank
of
you,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Happy Diwali.
Same to you. All the best.
Yes, sir. Happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali, sir.
When is the next class, please?
Maybe next day
No
of
idea
Diwali.
because next Saturday is Diwali and then Sunday.
Okay.
And sir, I mean, it is not yet fixed, as Verma sir said that he would be deciding it by tomorrow.
Okay. He keeps everyone on tender hooks. That's what gives him importance. I hope he's not listening to me. Chalo, all the best. God bless.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.